Thank you very much for being with us. Caught between a rock and a hard place, politically speaking, Kevin McCarthy says he's calling a vote on his future as House Speaker in the face of a far-right move to oust him. McCarthy's considered to be relatively towards the centre of today's Republican Party, but that didn't mean the Democrats were any more willing to help his cause. He says he never even considered asking for their support. Let's bring in Todd L, Director of the Political Management Program at George Washington University, to get some analysis and context on this story, which of course is central to what's happening in US politics right now. Todd, thanks for being with us. Where does this challenge to McCarthy come from, politically speaking?
Well, it's great to be with you, and thanks for having me on again. This challenge comes from Representative Matt Gaetz, who is a junior House member from Florida. Some would say pretty ambitious himself. Likes to have the spotlight, even had some money redirected to pay for a TV studio in his parents' house. But he is also representing a group that gave McCarthy the speakership. They were the holdouts when he was the one who was voted as Speaker earlier this year. And what they really wanted from him is they wanted some really strict cuts in U.S. government spending. And they don't feel like they got that when McCarthy came back from his negotiations with Joe Biden earlier this year.
So what do you think these dissenters, led by the likes of Mr. Gaetz, are seeking to change, Todd?
Well, they say they want something that they want someone that they can rely on in the speakership. They don't think that McCarthy has been really honest with them and hasn't gotten out of Joe Biden the type of cuts that they would want. That's primarily what they're talking about. They want to hear more about the border. This is another issue. The issue of fentanyl and the issue of border security is really important for them. McCarthy has said he would attach that to any supplemental funding bill for Ukraine. But other than that, this is mostly about trust and the fact that they don't trust the speaker.
Todd, do you think they have a case? I mean, it depends, I suppose, where one stands politically, but they're saying they don't trust McCarthy. They're saying they need someone they can trust. Do they have an actual strong position here, do you think?
Well, they have a position, and the Democrats definitely have a position. In fact, when the Democrats got together and caucused earlier this morning, they said they would refuse to support McCarthy because they don't believe they could trust him. If they thought they could trust him, then they might have helped save his speakership. But they have told everyone repeatedly that they thought they were going to get deals out of McCarthy that he reneged on, and they don't think that he is a trusting partner in their relationship, so they're willing to abandon ship on him too.
Indeed, between a rock and a hard place, politically speaking. How did McCarthy end up in this situation?
This is hubris. I mean, this is as Shakespearean as it gets. McCarthy wanted that speakership so bad. He tried to get it in 2015. He finally succeeded in getting it this year. But the trade-off was to allow any one member of the House to call for a motion to vacate. And the fact of the matter is that he can only afford to lose 4 votes from his own party without having to get Democrats to come over. He got Democrats to come over on this provisional spending bill that was passed late at night on Saturday that funds the government for another 6 weeks. That angered some of the Republicans, and now they called this motion to vacate. So he gave them the tool to take away what he wanted so badly.
Indeed, that motion to vacate, of course, we're watching for developments. Who do you think, if this goes through, as Mr. Gaetz and his fellow travellers want it to happen, if this goes through and McCarthy is pushed out, who will replace him?
This is really the question. Next up would have been Steve Scalise, but he's having some tremendous health issues right now. Don Emmer is next on the list, but he has actually failed to do his job in whipping the votes for a couple of different pieces of legislation, and I don't think the caucus really trusts him anymore. Down the list there, we have Elise Stefanik, who has only recently become a member of House leadership. I don't know if enough Republicans will trust her either. What we'll probably see happen is a number of different people be floated on ballots sequentially. We'll probably see McCarthy's name be put back there by his supporters as well. And it could go on for several days like it did back in January.
There's never a dull moment, is there? Todd, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We always appreciate your very clear analysis of these situations. Todd L, Director of the Political Management Program at George Washington University. Thank you so very much indeed.
Thank you. Great to be with you.
We're watching, of course, for developments on the situation regarding McCarthy's tenure as the House Speaker, of course, expected to come to an end in the coming hours.